How prepared is the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas? In this video, we're going to be doing a hotel readiness check of the Venetian Hotel from a preparedness point of view. Let's get started. If you're new to this channel, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Cliff, also known as the Urban Prepper, and on this channel we feature the topic of urban emergency preparedness. There's a lot of videos out there on YouTube that already do overall reviews of the Venetian from a hotel and casino and restaurant standpoint. This is going to be more from a preparedness standpoint. The Venetian Resort in Las Vegas is one of the most iconic and luxurious destinations on the Strip. It's located at 3355 Las Vegas Boulevard South, right in the heart of the action. It opened in 1999 on the historic site of the old Sands Hotel. The Venetian is massive, so big that you could easily spend your entire stay without ever leaving the resort. With thousands of suites, restaurants, shops, pools, and entertainment options, there's plenty to see and do within the walls. Together with its sister property, the Palazzo, the complex is one of the largest in the world, and about 11 million square feet of space. The casino floor itself spans 120,000 square feet, offering all the table games, slots, and poker you'd expect. There are also luxury shops, theaters, and countless other amenities. But this video isn't about any of that. If you're looking for detailed reviews of the food, shows, and casino experience, I recommend checking out Travel Ruby's channel. She does a fantastic job covering that side of Vegas. And a quick shout out to all my fellow preppers and tactical enthusiasts. You'll know the Venetian Expo as the host of SHOT Show every January, a huge event for the community. The preparedness points I'm focusing on in this video are specific to the Venetian, but the same mindset and strategies could really apply to any resort or hotel you might stay at. It's always good to approach your trips with a prepared mind, paying attention to safety, security, and evacuation options wherever you are. Just to clarify, I'm not affiliated with the Venetian in any way. I'm simply an average customer sharing my observations. Also, just to be clear, I'm not a licensed expert on fire safety, evacuation planning, medical response, or anything like that. These are simply my personal thoughts and observations based on my experience. This is just what I notice and what I personally look out for when I travel. We booked this trip through Expedia.com, paying around $2,000 for 4 airline tickets and 4 nights in July, staying at the South Tower. Previously, we stayed 3 nights in the North Tower back in January. I wanted to share what I've learned so you could see how the Venetian measures up for a preparedness-minded traveler. Let's start off first with the arrival. For transportation from the airport to the Venetian, we opted to go with a party bus to avoid the usual rental car and rideshare chaos. It was about $100, but it made the arrival much smoother and fun. When we arrived, it was about 108 degrees Fahrenheit outside. The Venetian had mist fans positioned near the entrance to help cool things down. With the wind that day, they weren't really that effective, but I thought it was still a nice touch. One of the best ways to save time is by doing the online check-in. We were able to skip the long lines at the front desk. So we simply picked up our key cards at the kiosk check-in and went on our way. Super quick and easy. By the way, the lobby at the Venetian is just stunning. But again, we're not focusing on all that kind of stuff. We're focusing on preparedness. Let's talk about the room experience and cleanliness. We stayed 4 nights in the South Tower this trip and 3 nights in the North Tower back in January. The standard suite we stayed in featured 2 queen beds, a separate living area with a couch and coffee table, and a full bathroom setup, including a tub, a separate shower, and a private enclosed toilet room. The rooms are pretty awesome. They're spacious, quiet, and beautifully designed. There's plenty of space for luggage, and there's an abundance of outlets and nightstands, which is important for me from a preparedness point of view. There were outlets on the sides of both beds, not just in the center, which made it easy to keep all our devices charged and even accommodate a CPAP machine if needed. Each room has a smoke detector, which is good, but they don't have carbon monoxide detectors. But I always bring my own. There's a PIN code safe in every room in the closet to secure your valuables. One minor issue, in our South Tower room, specifically floor 14, suite 616, the lock and latch were stripped and loose. I used a portable master lock security bar I brought with me to make up for that, which I featured in my recent travel preps video. Hopefully the Venetian can repair that so future guests don't run into the same issue. On the back of the main doors, you'll find a clearly printed evacuation map showing you the nearest stairwells and exits. I thought this was a nice touch. Let's talk about the cleanliness now. Being a prepper traveler, I also brought a UV light to inspect the cleanliness. Again, which I've mentioned in my recent travel preps video. Now, UV lights aren't for everyone. Some people just don't want to know. But I was pretty impressed with the cleanliness of the Venetian hotel room. The beds, couches, and surfaces were all spotless. I only found a few marks on the carpet in the hallway areas, and there were some additional spots in the toilet area. I imagine that the rooms are on some kind of cleaning schedule in terms of cleaning the upholstery and the carpets, which is great to see, because as we all know, some wild stuff happens in Vegas. But again, the majority of the areas at the Venetian were super clean. So nice work by housekeeping at the Venetian. All in all, you passed the UV light test. For reference, I recommend packing a small hotel safety kit that includes a UV light, a portable carbon monoxide detector, and a door security bar, all of which I used during my stay here. The normies don't pack those kind of things, but us preppers do. Let's talk about fire safety, which in my opinion is one of the most overlooked aspects of hotel preparedness. The Venetian appears to have been extremely well designed with professional grade fire safety in mind. You'll find smoke detectors and sprinklers throughout the rooms, hallways, and public spaces. In my experience, the North Tower is more straightforward to navigate with a traditional symmetrical design and centralized elevator area. The South Tower feels more like a maze. I was really impressed with the amount of exit signs that are spread out all across the South Tower during our stay. Not only do they have the typical exit signs on the ceiling, but they also have multiple floor-level exit signs. I thought this was really smart. Again, the South Tower feels a lot like a maze, so that might explain why they have even more exit signs throughout the hallways, including the floor-level ones. That design choice makes a lot of sense because in a fire, smoke rises and could easily obscure the overhead exit signs. But the additional exit signs, positioned about a foot off the floor, would hopefully still be visible in a smoky hallway, especially in the South Tower, which has a more maze-like layout compared to the more open and linear design of the North Tower. I timed how long it would take me to locate a fire extinguisher from my room, no matter which direction I went. During my testing, I was within 10 to 20 feet of an extinguisher in the hallways, whichever way I went. I thought that was really impressive coverage. The stairwells are clearly marked with large signs and clear instructions for evacuation. I reviewed the emergency stairwell locations myself to make sure that they were accessible and easy to find, although I didn't choose to actually walk down them because I didn't want to risk setting off an alarm. Still, it was reassuring to see how clear and well marked they were in case of an emergency. It's also worth noting where the Venetian sits in relation to the main roads, which is critical to know in case of a large-scale evacuation. As you can see here on the map, the Venetian is bordered by Las Vegas Boulevard, or the Strip, to the west. To the east, it backs up to Koval Lane, and to the north you have Sands Avenue, which runs east-west behind the property. If you're in the North Tower or closer to the Strip, the fastest evacuation route would likely be west to Las Vegas Boulevard. If you're in the South Tower or deeper in the Expo area, heading east or south towards Sands Avenue or Koval Lane would be quicker. Having this mental map ahead of time, or even pulling it up on your phone, could help you make faster decisions in an emergency situation. I recommend taking a moment when you arrive to locate these exit paths in person. There are also a few interactive LCD maps on the property, mainly in the restaurant areas, that show your current location and animate the path to your desired location. During an emergency, these could be extremely useful, although I wish that there were more of them throughout the towers. Again, I only saw them in the restaurant area, but I thought it would be really cool to have these in the hallways as well. Overall, the fire safety design is thoughtful, and it was really obvious the professionals planned for worst case scenarios here. So kudos to the Venetian for this level of attention to detail. I was impressed. On to security and surveillance, which is another critical area. Guest-only areas are secured with badge access, and armed security guards are stationed at the elevator entrances next to the badge scanners. This ensures that random casino patrons can't just wander into the guest hallways. Human trafficking awareness signs with hotline numbers are prominently displayed in every restroom, which I think might be standard across Las Vegas, but I still thought it was a thoughtful and necessary touch. There are hallway telephones at key points throughout the property, which is good to know if you lose or damage your cell phone, or if your kid gets lost in the hallways. They'll always be able to find a phone to call for help. And of course, there are cameras everywhere. The most common brand that I noticed was Bosch at the Venetian, with cameras mounted in the corners of elevators, in the hallways, public areas, and even overlooking the pools. I imagine that these tie into an AI-assisted monitoring system. Needless to say, the level of safety while inside the resort is very high. Las Vegas may be called Sin City, and once you're out on the streets, anything could happen. But inside the Venetian, we felt extremely safe. The heightened security, extensive surveillance, and armed staff give you confidence that no one's going to come in and cause trouble, at least not easily. As a parent, I also appreciate how the security, shallow pools, and clear signage make it a safer environment for families as well. Now let's talk about pool area readiness and comfort. So guests have access to both the Venetian and the Palazzo pools. One feature we loved about staying at the South Tower was the easy access to a smaller, shaded pool garden. This area gets much less sunlight and stays cooler, which was greatly appreciated during our 110-degree Fahrenheit stay. Overall, at all of the pools at the Venetian and at the Palazzo, the lifeguards were super attentive, they looked to be properly equipped, and they rotated regularly. The saltwater pools are shallow, around 3.5 feet deep on average, which minimize risks. Safety equipment was visible and within easy reach. The exit pathways are clearly marked, and surveillance was evident at the pools as well. We spent a lot of time hanging out at these saltwater pools, and we felt very safe while we were there. One thing to note is that while I didn't do a deep investigation of where the AEDs were all located, or where the first aid stations were clearly marked, I felt that the security staff and the concierge could quickly summon medical help if needed. So there were just a few areas that I thought could be improved. It'd be great if all the smoke detectors were combo smoke and carbon monoxide detectors in all of the rooms. Again, I carry my own when traveling. If the Venetian happens to watch this video, just repair that faulty door latch. And again, it would be pretty cool to have more of those interactive maps throughout the property. I thought it was really cool on the ones that I did see in Restaurant Row. Beyond that, the Venetian already excels in fire safety, security, cleanliness, and comfort. All in all, the Venetian delivers an impressive combination of luxury, comfort, and safety. My family can't wait to return to enjoy all of the amenities and the overall luxury experience it offers. And personally, I'm especially looking forward to coming back because of the thoughtful preparedness and safety measures they've put into place. I think it really makes a difference when you're traveling with a preparedness mindset. If you'd like to see more of these hotel readiness reviews like this when I visit other cities, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. I hope that you enjoyed watching this hotel readiness video featuring the Venetian in Las Vegas. Please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comments section regarding this video, and stay tuned for more urban emergency preparedness videos. See you next time.